Welcome back. You're watching Global Lens on News9 Live with me, Neha Khanna. Let's now turn our attention to the US. It was the fourth debate among Republican presidential hopefuls and the four contenders on stage. Former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy spent most of the 2-hour debate trading insults. Ramaswamy referred to Haley as lipstick on a Dick Cheney. Christie mocked Ramaswamy's smart-ass mouth. DeSantis said Haley caves every time the left comes after her. I love the attention, fellas. Thank you for that. Haley shot back, even as she came under fire from the other candidates. There were also attacks made on former President Donald Trump. Christie, whose campaign is built on an anti-Trump message, made a sustained case against Trump's return to power, while Haley criticized his approach to China, and DeSantis said Trump had not fulfilled his pledge to drain the swamp and make Mexico pay for a border wall. But those moments were exceptions in a debate dominated by clashes between the candidates who were actually present. In perhaps a clear sign of her rise in the race, Nikki Haley's opponents made her the center of attention during much of the first hour of the debate. DeSantis took aim at Haley, pulling her into a dispute over which bathrooms transgender people should be able to use. Ramaswamy continued where he had left off in the third debate, targeting Haley for her time serving on the board of Boeing, a company that has a major manufacturing facility in the state she once governed. At several points, DeSantis and Ramaswamy teamed up to pile on criticisms, zeroing in on the support that Nikki Haley has received from donors like LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman, a Democratic donor who sent $250,000 to a super PAC supporting her, and the interest coming her way from the likes of BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. Ramaswamy held up his notepad in a dramatic style, on which he had written, "Nikki equals corrupt." Haley said she welcomed help wherever it may come from, but it would not dictate her policies. They're just jealous. They wish they were supporting them instead, she said. Meanwhile, Chris Christie lashed out at Ramamurthy, saying, "This is the fourth debate that you would be voted in the first 20 minutes as the most obnoxious blowhard in America." Then Christie went on to train his guns on Donald Trump. He said, "I've got these three guys who are all seeming to compete with Voldemort, he who should not be named," referring to the Harry Potter series villain whose name the characters avoided saying. Christie suggested that other candidates are avoiding taking on Trump directly because they don't want to hurt their own chances of becoming his vice presidential nominee or even their 2028 presidential prospects. Despite skipping all the four debates, Trump continues to be the frontrunner for the Republican Party presidential nomination.
Bankrupt when you left the UN. After you left the UN, you became a military contractor. You actually started joining service on the board of Boeing, whose back you scratched for a very long time, and then gave foreign multinational speeches like Hillary Clinton is, and now you're a multimillionaire. That math does not add up. It adds up to the fact that you are corrupt.
I did serve on the board of Boeing. I did a lot of work with Boeing when I was governor. They were a great partner to me. And in terms of these donors that are supporting me, they're just jealous. They wish that they were supporting them, but I'm not going to sit there and do it.
We're 17 minutes into this debate, and except for your little speech in the beginning, we've had these three acting as if the race is between the four of us. The fifth guy, who doesn't have the guts to show up and stand here, he's the one who, as you just put it, is way ahead in the polls. And yet, I've got these three guys who are all seemingly to compete with, Voldemort, he who shall not be named. They don't want to talk about it.
Nikki, I don't have a woman problem. You have a corruption problem. And I think that that's what people need to know. Nikki is corrupt. This is a woman who will send your kids to die so she can buy a bigger house.
Would you like to respond?
No, it's not worth my time to respond to him.
All right, from the US, let's now turn our attention to Russia. Russian lawmakers have set the date of the country's 2024 presidential election for the 17th of March, moving Vladimir Putin a step closer to a fifth term in office. Members of the Federation Council, Russia's upper house of parliament, voted unanimously to approve a decree setting the date. 71-year-old Putin hasn't yet announced his intention to run again, but is widely expected to do so in the days ahead. Under constitutional reforms that he orchestrated, Putin is now eligible to seek 2 more 6-year terms after his current one expires next year, potentially allowing him to remain in power until 2036. Having established tight control over Russia's political system, Putin's victory in the March election is all but assured. Prominent critics who could challenge him on the ballot are either in jail or living abroad, and most independent media have been banned in Russia. Neither the costly drawn-out war in Ukraine nor a failed rebellion last summer by mercenary chief Yevgeny Prigozhin appear to have impacted Putin's high approval ratings, reported by independent pollsters. Who will challenge him on the ballot still remains unclear. Imprisoned opposition leader Alexei Navalny, in an online statement, has urged his supporters to vote for anyone but Putin.
The Russian Federation today is one of the main architects of a fair global future. There is an understanding of this by our people. Our people will surely make the only right choice, voting for Russia, for the victory in a strong country.
Make no mistake, today's vote's going to be long remembered, and history's going to judge harshly those who turn their back on freedom's cause. We can't let Putin win. Say it again, we can't let Putin win. It's in our overwhelming national interest and international interest of all our friends. Any disruption in our ability to supply Ukraine clearly strengthens Putin's position. We've run out of money to be able to do that in terms of authorization. Extreme Republicans are playing chicken with our national security, holding Ukraine's funding hostage to their extreme partisan border policies.
All right, that's all the time we have on this edition of Global Lens. Do join us again at the same time tomorrow. Goodbye.
Delhi has the fastest growing metro network among G20 nations. From 6 stations in 2002, it today has 286 stations. Reliability, cleanliness and affordability have set the template for other Indian metros. The architect of this modern-day world-class marvel is E. Sridharan. Watch the extraordinary life of Metro Man E. Sridharan streaming now on News9 Plus. Download now.
A lot of similarities between Baron Dash and Oliver Kahn.
Champions like him are not born every day.
And I also like this format that is not only question and answer.
After 15 years, football legend Oliver Kahn returns to India. 15 years ago, he was here for his farewell match. This time, the former German goalkeeper and Bundesliga star is a guest on season 2 of the award-winning show Jolog with Barun Das. Dialogue with Barun Das is a highly acclaimed talk show that has taken the Indian media industry by storm.
It is a platform where two thinking individuals exchange their ideas.
Hosted by Barun Das, one of India's best-known business leaders, Dialogue is a cerebral conversation